It is time to organize the shop.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This whole corner right here is a bit of not good. Anyways, this is not installed because there's an outlet right there which I wanted to move over. I wanted to move that over so that I can plug in the fridge. But then I'm like, this whole corner here was going to be all like for all the chargers and stuff, and probably some battery chargers, so I have some place to put them because I have battery chargers everywhere. There's one over there. There's one on the ground somewhere. I probably covered it up. And then there's another one over in the corner right there. So there's 3 here in the general vicinity. And then there's the booster right there. So we have like 4 battery things and whatnot. So I want to move this over to here. It gives you better access because I'm always plugging cords into there and it comes across the fridge. I don't really use the fridge. I don't even drink anything cold, and I've got cold drinks in here, so I just toss them in here, and I'm not even sure what that is. But that all being said, I want to move this over, build a shelf up and down or whatever. So I'm going to have to move that outlet over to here and then plug in that. And that's 35 inches. This is 36 inches, so it'll fit nice and tucked in there. So it's kind of looking really good. I like it. And so I'm going to clean all this out of here, give myself some room to work. I just reoriented the door. This is beautiful. Did some mud work going up and down just so everything's nice and sealed and proper. So that was fun. And then I do want to do the patches. I'm getting a little bit of sidetracked. I got patch there, patch there, patch there, and then everywhere else. But you know what? Piece by piece, bit by bit. So right now I want to get this area all cleaned up so that I can move some stuff and install some stuff. And that way this is done. And I can keep moving forward and I can clean off my table. Yes, these are lights for up top here. Replace the halogen over there, which is really warm in the summertime, great in the winter, but not so much. Again, getting sidetracked. Let's get this down and I'll come back.
Anytime you start a project, it's important to get yourself organized. And right now, getting myself all cleaned up for this area where we're going to attack to get organized. So you got to get organized before you get organized. So we're going to put a patch in here. I'm going to leave that as is for now. Don't really care about it. There's a lot of power going on through here. Don't ever touch any of this stuff. If you want to work on this kind of stuff, get someone who's licensed, and always turn the power off. So there's a lot going on here, and you want to flip it over from here to, so there's no stud there. The stud's right there. So this won't really work the way I thought it would. I thought there was a stud here, open, and I just flipped this over to here. So that being said, we're gonna have to trace this out and then open this up to the next stud, which is right here. And then the next one after that will be, should be right here, but they might have skipped it. Oh, right here. You can tell by that. And then there's the nail pop up here. So you have that, and then that's that one. So I'm probably gonna put the next outlet here, and then this one will be flipped over to this stud, right there. Yeah. So 16 is down the center. Yeah, that'd be right about right. Anyways, I'll come back when this is all set up. So I've got some good news and I got some bad news. Bad news, well, the power comes in this way, not that way. And it's from over here, so I'm not exactly sure how that is. Whoever did the insulation too, they didn't cut around, which is very typical. They just want to slap them up and that's it. So that kind of irritates me, but that's, you can see, like, if you compress your insulation, you get less insulation. It's meant to have the air in between, and that way it traps the heat. In this case, this is not as efficient. So we just cut a little hole here to block that up. The blackness is because it's open to, again, as you can always guess, moisture. Yeah, not done very good. It just is what it is. So we're gonna clean this up. I'm gonna turn off the power. I just want to say, you know, one of these testers so that way you know it's on and off. And we can put the outlet here for the fridge, and that way I can start wiring it back this way. Yeah, and this is in 2 pieces, so that's where the joint of the wall is. Not exactly favorable, but I'll come back once I have all this wired up. And then this, not exactly sure where I'm going to go with this yet. So I quickly just want to show you something. You can have your push pins in for your outlet, but it doesn't create a very solid connection. Now, and the power is off, as I previously said, but if I do this,
you can see that I'm pulling out the wires from the outlet itself. That kind of shows you how weak the connection actually is. See, I pulled this one out, pulled that one out, and there you go. So when you have it coiled around the screw, a much more solid connection. And if you're splitting it off to another outlet, it's best to do the loop style. So this would go around and into the outlet, and you put the screw in there, and that way you have a continuous form of electricity to pony off the next outlet. Way better than having two separate wires coming in into one contact position. Alrighty, so we got our stud in, both outlets are now in. This is moved over, obviously. This is where the shelf is going to come down. It's no longer impeding, so once I do all the drywall work, which some of this is going to go back to there, some new stuff is going to get cut, we will have our shelving unit, which is after the drywall, and then our fridge can go back into place, and then we turn the power back on. As you can see, guys, I changed my mind. I refastened every single thing all the way around, and this is 14¼ up and bottom. Obviously there'll be a little bit of variance, and it's 32 from side to side, which is understandable because they're 16-inch centers, so 14 in between, 14.5 in between. Now to cut a drywall piece, and then zip cut those. So I found this piece that's 14 by 32.5, almost, probably a little more. Anyways, we're gonna cut this to make that fit and then zip cut it. Because it's an area that's a little bit more difficult, we have longer than what's needed screws, so when we fasten them in, we can fasten them in, they'll go through the drywall into the stud, and we won't have to press the wood right against the studs themselves, sorry, the drywall right against the studs themselves. So they'll be right up against the power boxes, or the outlet boxes, and then we can easily just take our zip tool, and you can see it's marked off there, top and bottom, and that'll triangulate or rectangulate our points where we need to cut. So because we know where the boxes are, this is where you see here where the power box is, or the outlet box is, and again, right over here. We know the sizes, we know where everything's placed. Now for the zip tool. That one I did okay. This one, I got hungry. Okay, it's all fastened in. We're gonna flip the time lapse and we're gonna get to mudding. So because our opening is 14.5 inches and our drywall piece is 14 inches, I decided to take the mud and push it in between the two pieces of drywall where they meet, and then from there use the mesh tape to go and reapply the mud right over top, and then to feather it out. So kind of like 2 or 3 coats kind of deal. We're not going to be bothering about sanding this, and the reason why my mud is tinted pink is so that you can see the difference between the old surfaces and the new surfaces. So the next step now is to install the last of these guys, which is that guy, and then we'll do the outlets. Installing the wall bins is pretty easy. You grab the backer piece, you mark all the holes, drill the holes, install the anchors, and then you fasten everything in place and then load the bins. And now that that's installed, the whole wall here is complete. Let me just go up a little bit. There we go. That whole wall is complete. Next, we're going to install the outlets. This part of the video didn't really turn out all that well. You're not going to learn too much from this, so I'm just going to skip ahead. Hope you don't mind. Outlets are now installed, so I'm going to get back to cleaning this up. Just want to double check everything, even though I know they're good. Ground is good. Good. Alrighty, so now clean this up, take the fridge, put it right here, and start building my shelves. Well, that looks a lot better. Having it nice and open. We are going to close it up a little bit, with the shelving for the battery chargers, but it'll give us a nice little space for all those cords and nonsense. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
In this instance, decided to build a kind of a built-in kind of shelf. The material allowed me to have 4 spaces, including the bench, so 3 shelves, and I just measured the top and bottom to know the length of the sides. It's going to be like a ladder style shelf. I'm going to be using the shelf above it as a structural support, and I'll be fastening into the bench as we go. And the material itself is warped, and it was used before. We're just kind of upcycling the material.
Alrighty, so I have 37 and 3/4. I switched that to centimeters, and then I have 24 centimeters per each one. So yes, I did went from imperial to metric. I mixed the two. On this side, when I put this in, I have 2 inches right here. So I wanted to maintain that 2 inches so you have an equal air going all the way around so the fridge stays cool. That's 5/8. So when I squared this off using the square and another, because you go from here to get the square, got the line with the level, and then you can get all this. So it's perfectly rectangle or perfectly square, however you look at it. And basically, if I grab this one here, so you get the square. That's a magnet right there. It's kind of annoying. You stick this right here. You get your straight line right there. Once this is all a straight line, you flip this over, double check it. Like a lot of, for a better word, is square. Now we're gonna nail this together, put a little bit of glue on it, and put it back into place, and then fasten it.
Building our shelves, well, kind of like a ladder, and couldn't find the glue. So there's no glue, just some extra nails, and we fasten one side, and then flip it over, fasten the other side, and then we put it all into place.
Well guys, we're done. This looks pretty good. Good use of scrap material. Yes, this is a little bit wonky, but it is what it is. I did try to do my best to kind of like straighten it out, but you can't really get rid of that or this or that and stuff. Like, I did try to keep it straight, left it out for about a week before I started using it. This stuff has been sitting around forever. So finally I've used it all up and we're good to go. Got my 3 battery chargers in one place with the battery booster. I might put this in a different location, don't know. I really didn't exactly plan this out. I just kind of like wanted to build a shelf. I spaced these all out evenly. I put the bar in the center, and then I had all this extra cable. So what I did is I cut the end off, and then I drilled through there. I found that in the organization of what this will be. I'm going to put some labels on this and stuff as I go, but right now I'm just kind of throwing things in different areas, just so like everything kind of comes together. And this really did come together. This is exactly what I wanted, except it was going to be over there, but then I decided to switch it around because this kind of comes together. If I had to put the fridge here, it would have been jutting out and then coming back in, and it wouldn't look as good as like a nice, how this is set up. That's it. So I'm pretty proud of this. Hopefully you guys like it too. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. And if any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, peace.